Good morning, everybody. We are ready to start our webinar about STR Vision CPM. Before to start, I would like to ask you if you can hear me well and if you can see the screen on which there is the picture with webinar STR Vision CPM. Today we're going to introduce you STR Vision CPM, which is a software for construction project management. The first part will be just an introduction with general information about who we are and what our product does. My name is Francesco Goldoni, and I am product marketing for Team System STR. And then we'll follow the presentation of architect Francesca Gorni, which she will go through the software, and she's going to show you the features live. So what about our company, who we are? STR is a business unit specialized in architecture, engineering, and construction market. We were founded in 1979 with the aim of achieving the best management software to digitalize the construction market. So dedicated for construction market, today we have 130 people. We sold 25,000 licenses worldwide. We have 50 business partners in Italy and abroad, and we are certified quality for the European Union. We are part of a bigger group that is called Team System. Team System is one of the European leaders in developing ERP and technical software. Was founded in 1979, and today, since 2014, is controlled by the private equity fund Hellman & Friedman, which is an early investor for technologies company. Team System Group has 2,000 people, has a turnover of almost 300 million. It has 250,000 customers, and we have 800 partners in Italy and abroad. All our products are designed for a specific market. For STR, which is our market, so which are our customers in architecture, engineering, and construction market. First of all, where we are in Europe. Today we sell STR Vision CPM almost in 70% of the European countries. But also we have distributors worldwide, such as in Asia, in Latin America, and in Middle East. Our market is formed by construction companies, so companies that they have the main business in construction, company that make installation, real estate company also, a company which build road, craft, or provide global services in construction market. But also, STR Vision CPM is used by public administration and government, such as local authority, ports, airports, and university, in order to understand the impact of specific projects, so the cost of specific project. And also is used by architecture and engineering companies in order to provide information about the cost control and the cost of a single project. In fact, you will see, going ahead with the presentation, that the main features will cover the needs for all these three subjects. Here you can see some projects that we help with our customers, Salini Impregilo, Astaldi, Enel, and Italfer. These are projects that have been developed in 2017, and which they used STR Vision CPM in order to make cost control. And also they were supported by some of our consultants. So there are big projects in which they use our software. We start with Salini Impregilo in Colombia, Ruta del Sol. It's a motorway. And then we follow with Astaldi in Chile, the airport. And then we go with Enel in South Africa to design and develop the power plant. And with Italfer in Doha for the subway. Let's talk about digital transformation, that there are two words that are very used today, but what does it mean, digital transformation, and why it should interest you? We start with the IT revolution in 1976. Before then, not many people thought that personal computer could change our life or can be present in all of our houses and offices, but then it happened. And then we had the CAD revolution, so the use of computer-aided design software in order to design projects. Today, we are at the beginning of the BIM revolution. What does it mean, BIM? Building information modeling. It's the use of, it's a methodology of work, and it involves the use of digital representation, which are 3D models, in order to facilitate design, planning, execution, and maintenance of a project. When we talk about BIM, we talk about not just the 3D model design, but we talk about all the operation that will follow that particular project. In particular, 4D, that is about the job scheduling and planning, and 5D, that is about the cost control. When we talk about cost control, we talk about something that starts from the very beginning. So it starts with the estimate, with the price list management and the estimate, in order to understand which price we need to offer in order to win a tender. But then it goes through with the actual control, so the building site control, so we can compare what have been planned in terms of cost and what the project actually cost in reality. Considering also delay, accidents, whatever happens that will slow down the execution of the project. But also BIM is about 7D and 6D. 6D is the energy control of a particular project, of a particular building, and 7D is about the facility and maintenance management of that building. So when we talk about BIM, we talk about, it starts from the project, but then it goes through during all the life cycle of a specific building, of a specific project. Why it should interest to you the digital transformation and the building information modeling? Because 30% of the project generally is reviewed and reworked. 60% of work is wasted in building site, but also wasting time in a project, in developing a project. 10% loss on each project is due to the waste of materials and accidents or delays. So at the end, 80% of the inputs of a project, most of the time, are identical and recurring. So errors and delays at the end are the biggest added cost. Let's talk about what are the most important critical issues in a project. The first one, this concept is not respected. We see a funny pictures below that show you when the concept is not respected. The timeline is missed. And third, we see more cost. We need to pay more because of these things, because the concept is not respected, so we have to redo the work again and again, and because we have a lot of delays. And why does it happen? It happens probably because we don't apply the BIM 4D and 5D, which means to have a control on our project. And this kind of control may affect two things, the time and the cost. So when we talk about STR Vision CPM, we talk about to define a target, a destination, and then we need to understand where we are, so we need to measure. We need to understand where it will be, so we need to check the actual condition with what have been planned before, and we need to understand how to continue in the executed our project. So at the end is the concept of a navigator, okay? When you have a navigator on your car, it guides you to a target, to a destination, and provide you useful information, such as the time left, such as the kilometers, such as an indication, in order to reach the destination in order to reach your target destination effectively. So how does a navigator work? You set a target to a time, and helps you to control the path. So STR Vision CPM helps you to control the path of your project. Is a navigator enough? No. No, why? Because you must know and control the resources. So when we build up a project, building, we need to control the resources. So I need the resources that I need and the resources that I might afford in order to make that particular building. So how is a project involved in this? Let's compare a project with the concept of navigator. The target, so our destination, is to complete the project. The time is the delivery date. How we build that particular project are the resources. So STR Vision CPM helps you for the 4D and the 5D. So you can manage price list, you can do the quantity takeoff in order to understand the economical impact of that particular project. You can compare two different projects in order to understand the economical impact and the differences between them. And then you can go through the 4D, so the virtual simulation of the execution phases, and then you can go through the advanced cost control and the error value analysis. Because you start from the estimate, so you have already, let's say, a planned cost for that particular project, and then you can fill up all the information on your building site in order to understand the actual cost of that particular building. So you have one software to do a lot of things. Let's talk about traditional estimate versus the BIM parametric estimate. So the traditional estimate involves the identification of materials. You have a large support of documentation, generally paper documentation. It's based on tables and drawings or Excel, and manual measurement of quantities is required, and also you need to manual update estimate in case of variation. The change with BIM is that using a 3D model, you can apply, you can configure some estimation rules, and you can apply them massively on your project. So you can also automate the estimation. In this way, you save a lot of money when you need to understand the economical impact of a project, but also you can compare the same project with some variance and to understand the economical impact of that. It boosts up your estimate. As I told you at the very beginning, our software is used by construction companies, but also architectural engineering firms. Why? Because you are all involved in developing projects which require interoperability and shared information between subjects. With STR Vision CPM, we also grant a high level of interoperability, because interoperability is really important in order to manage efficiently the project today. So we have a high level of interoperability with Microsoft Office. So our grid in STR Vision CPM are designed in Excel style, and there is the possibility to copy and paste price list, and also to export Excel docs, make some changes, and quickly import it back in STR Vision CPM. We have a nightly interoperability with CAD software, which support EFC standards such as Graphisoft, but also Revit and Tekla Structures, and whatever CAD that supports the EFC standard. Also with scheduling software such as project manager software such as Oracle Primavera, Microsoft Project, and Synchro Pro. And then we integrate with ERP system so the most used ERP system in the world, such as SAP and Microsoft Dynamics, in order to import and export information about the accountability of a building site. So main features of STR Vision CPM. What we do with our software. Before describe you these 5 features, I would like also to point out that our software is used even if you don't have a 3D model. But if you have a 3D model, that you can see all the features that our software offer you. For example, you can import the AFC model. With the qualitative information that you find on the 3D model, you can do the quantity takeoff and the estimation. So you can create rules in order to automate the project, and you can compare models to take decision. Then you can go through the job scheduling with the Gantt diagram, but also the virtual simulation of the various phases of the project through time. And then you can do the economical and financial analysis. So let's see the typical process of STR Vision CPM for engineering company. Engineering company and architecture company use our software to do the quantity takeoff, the analytical estimation, the jobs planning and time schedule, and to do the management and accounting. The construction company uses our software in order to do the estimate for construction bidding and in order to participate in tender. They use STR Vision CPM to do planning and analysis of requirements, to do the building site management and cost control, and at the end, the industrial and analytical accounting, along with... So here you can see how STR Vision CPM helps you in the planning and in the project control. So you start managing price list, and then you can go through the estimates, understand the bill of quantities to do planning, and also you go through the project control, so you can manage suppliers, you can prepare the jobs journal in order to record activities and reports, and then you can go through the industrial accounting, you can manage subcontractors, and go through the earned value analysis. So this is how our software can help you, even if you don't have 3D model. But then, if you want to work, and if you already work with the BIM methodology, here we go. So you can import 3D models, and you can maximize the efforts of the quantity takeoff, so you can save a lot of time. You can virtual simulate the various phases of the project with the Gantt diagram, with the 4D, and then you can go through the 5D, so the real advanced cost control. When we talk about cost control, we talk about save money, especially for construction companies. Okay, here we see the STR Vision architecture, because we provide our software solution to different subjects. We also propose different type of installation. For example, you can purchase just one license and install that in a standalone on a singular personal computer. You can have an installation on a particular server, and then you can connect 3 different personal computers or more and work on the same database and update the information. Or you can get one license with many concurrent users. So it's a LAN distributed architecture. Thanks to this kind of installation, we can offer our product to singular professionists, but also to very large companies. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. My part of presentation is ended, and then I introduce you architect Francesca Gorni that will show you the software. Just a second, and then we can continue our presentation.
Okay, let's start with STR Vision CPM. First of all, this is the interface of STR Vision CPM. Here on the left, you have the navigation pane. On the top, you have the ribbon bar, and in the center, you have the workspace. STR Vision CPM is a multi-company, multi-currency, multi-users software. Here in System and Settings, you can set the access to the software, and you can set roles and users, as you can see here. You can set the users and the password and so on. Now, as in STR Vision CPM, we also have price lists that are company price lists. As I told you before, in STR Vision CPM, you can manage more than one company. Now we are in just one of your company. You can see the company and the project you are working in here on the left. So, first of all, price list. What is a price list in STR Vision CPM? A price list is a list of items that represents our resources. So, for example, we can have manpower, machinery, and materials, for example. How a price list looks like. Price list, as I told you, a list of items, measurement units, rounding, and so on. The workspace of STR Vision CPM looks like an Excel grid, as you can see here. And you can move columns, remove columns, and filter them as you do in Excel. So how we can create our price list? First of all, we can add manually on a new item, and the item is defined by a code. For example, rubble. And we can set a measurement unit and a price, for example. One of the most important feature of STR Vision CPM is that you can import and export really easily from Excel. So let's see how we can do. We can just export our price list in Excel. We can modify the price, for example, and simply copy and paste it inside the software. As you can see, the price now is different. So you can have your own price list in Excel. You can easily import it inside the software just using copy and paste. Another simple way to create your price list is to use our database or your own database and simply drag and drop the item from previous work, for example. Just like this. So this is what we call a price list. So the list of all the resources that we need to do our estimate. Let's move to project and contracts. Here we have the list of all project and contracts that we have in STR Vision CPM. We set the project as current. What does it mean? It means that all the modules that you can see here on the left refers to the current project. So in this case, the Health Center demo. All these modules refers to the current project. So all the estimate that we are working in refers to this model and so on. Let's see what we have inside the project. Inside the project, we have a project price list. So all the resources that refers only to this project. We have measurement unit, price category that we are going to see later, and so on. And here on the bottom, we have the IFC model. Let's open the tab. In STR Vision CPM, you can load many IFC model. So now we are going to load a new model just to show you how we can do. We press Add, we insert a code on description, and we import the file. Okay. Now here we can see the 3D CAD that create the model, in this case Revit, and the IFC standard is 2x3 for now. We press OK, and now we have this wizard that asks us if we want to see all the elements of our model. Sometimes we have really big models with a lot of details, for example, trees or furniture that we are not interested in, and we want just to hide it, and we can select here what to see and what to hide. For now, we press skip. Okay, we activate the model and we save. So we can see our model. Okay, we fix it. And now here we have our center. We can zoom in, zoom out. We can rotate our model, or we can set the transparency. And of course, we can navigate it. So we can see here, just a second, the navigation tree with all the elements. And you can select add element inside the model and see it on the tree, or you can select on the tree and see the object inside the model. Now, each object has properties, so we can open the property tab, and here you can see the quantitative properties, for example, area, volume, height, that are useful when we are doing the estimate. We have qualitative properties and also materials that tells us the thickness of the layer of our wall, for example. We can make a cut plane, for example. And of course, we can filter the properties of our model, and we are going to see it later. So let's move to the estimate module and see how we can use the 3D model, the IFC model, to do an estimate. So as you can see now, our estimate is empty. Now we are going to switch on our model. Let's make a little bit of space. So now I'm going to add a new item. For example, I want to paint the ceiling of my building. So I select an item, for example, the acrylic painting. So as you can see here, we have a code, we have a description, we have a price, but we don't have a quantity, and of course we don't have an amount. How we can calculate the quantity? We can go inside our model, press filter, we select a story, for example, the ground floor for now, and we select spaces. We apply the filter, and now we have 27 spaces inside of our building on the ground floor, of course. We press selection properties, and here we have the sum of the gross floor area of all the rooms that we have selected. So we take it, we drag and drop it here inside the measurement tab. And now, as you can see, we have quantity and we have an amount. And of course, we have the total amount here too. So as you can see, it's a really mechanical process to drag and drop all the quantities from all the spaces inside of our building. But we can do in a more automatic, in a more fast way. We just delete this, okay, and we reset the filter. Now we are not going to choose a story. We are just selecting spaces. Here, we apply the filter, and now we have 48 spaces in all the building. We press now new estimate measurement. What we are doing now, we are creating an estimation rule. What is a rule? A rule is a procedure that we can teach to the software, and we can apply to calculate a quantity, but we can save this rule in a catalog like this one of these, and we can apply it again in the same project or in other projects. So we select, we make a description, maybe painting ceiling. We select the item, so acrylic. We select maybe a comment, maybe name. And here in base quantity, we select gross floor area. Now we create an estimate measurement. Okay, here we are. So if we go to the measurement here, and we press check estimated object, you can see that we have estimated all the ceiling of our model in just one row. So let's imagine that we have 20, 30 different rules, and that allows us to calculate all the building. And let's see an example. Let's switch the model for a second. Okay. So this is our model. Now I'm deleting this row. Yeah. Now let's imagine that we want to estimate all building using our rule. So we press generate parametric estimate. We select a catalog. And here you can select 1, 2, 3, or all the rules that you have in your catalog. We select all. And here you can map your estimate, so you can divide your estimate maybe by story, for example. So this is not an error message. It's simply to tell us that these rules cannot be applied to this project, but maybe we can apply, we have created this rule for another project, so it's not a problem. We just close it. So here we are. This is the estimate of our building. If I select all, sorry, and we press check unestimated object, we can see that we have estimated the whole building except for this small object here. So this is how we can apply a parametric estimate to our building. Let's come back to the L sensor. So let's imagine that we receive an updated model, for example, because our customer wants some have some need some variation inside our project. So what we can do, we can compare the old model with the new one and the old estimate with the new estimate. So let's see how we can do. Okay, so this is our health center and this is the estimate of our health center. If we press estimate update, we can compare this model with a new one. So for example, this with the health center update. We press OK. If we press compare models, show updated model. So we have the two models here. I set the transparency so you can see that the two models are different, especially in this part. You go here and we can see the status of our object. We have the start value and an updated value, for example. You can see the windows here. The window here is different. Now we can keep the start value or accept the updated value one by one, but we can also make a more massive action and just press this button and create an updated estimate. We insert a code and description, and we have a completely new and different estimate related to the new model. Another important thing is that we can compare the old model with the new one using a pivot table. So you can make comparison between the old estimate and the new one, for instance. Okay. Now we have created our estimate. We are ready to move to the planning. Just a second, I can close some tab just to make some more. Okay. We can create, using our estimate, we can create a Gantt chart and we can plan all the activities of our project. So I open the measurement and we can see that we have a complete estimate of our building. All these rows are activities. How I can tell that are activities? Because if we have this A, that means analyzed item. Every activity is built using a material, for example, glass in this case, and manpower. Through an analyzed activity, you can set the time of your activity, or you can set it later inside the Gantt chart. Maybe now, in this case, the time it was probably 0 because I set it inside the Gantt chart, but you can set the duration here and set, for example, the manpower as critical. Now let's see the Gantt chart. Now here you have all the Gantt chart of your estimate. You can have more than one. And you can add a new one, for example, from here, and you can create a new job plan from an estimate. Now we are going to see an estimate a job plan that I have already prepared. So we press Gantt Chart, and here we are. So we have the model here, all the activities, and if we press on activities, we can see the cost, the revenue related to these activities, and the quantity. In addition to that, in the chart, we can see the cost and the revenues. And of course, here in the Gantt chart, you can set the start, the end, and the duration, and so on. That's Gantt chart. Now, let's imagine that we want to see the state of our building on a particular date. So we go here, we press status, we select a date, and we can see the status of our building at the 1st of January. We can also do simulation, for example, and see how our building rose. We set weekly for now and press view. So, this is what we can do with the IVC file, but STR Vision CPM, it's more than that. And I'm going now to show you just a few minutes about all the features of STR Vision CPM. I'm just closing this project and open a new one. So let's talk about project management. STR Vision CPM is a software that can do cost management. How it can do that? First of all, what is cost management? Is the process to determine and control the resources needed to perform an activity or create an asset. First of all, you have to set your resources, as we have done before in the price list, for example. So we have to determine people, equipment, and materials. In the second phase, we have to do cost estimating that we have just done a few minutes ago. And then we have to set the cost budgeting. The budget is our goal, and in the construction phase, we have to do cost control to keep an eye on our budget. So, as I told you before, here we have all the items. So people, equipment, and material. Every single item can have a cost, which is cost price, and a bid price. That represents your gain. Now, once we have set our resources, we can move to the estimate, as I did before. So here in the estimate, we have the measurements. And you can calculate the quantities using the IVC model. The measurement, the estimate gives you the quantities and the price. When you move to the Gantt chart, you can set the time of your project. So as I showed you before, from the estimate, we create the Gantt chart. Once we have created the Gantt chart, we can set the budget. The budget is our goal. In this chart, you can see the total amount of costs and the total amount of revenue. And you can see when revenues are bigger than costs. Once you set your budget, you can set also the requirements. So you can tell the quantity that you need when you need it on the building site. So this is all the things that you must do in the in a planning phase. Now we move to the execution and control phase. During the execution and control phase, you have to manage the passive accounting, so costs, as for example, subcontracts, requirements, and purchase. And you also have to manage active accounting, so the production, your own production, and the payment that you receive. And you can do that here in accountings. Inside the accountings, you can record your own production and you can record the payment that you receive. That allows us at the end, here inside documents and projects, to manage and to control the process of our building. So, for example, if we press on cost accounting, for example, we can make comparisons between the estimate and the accounting. And we can have also a chart if we want. And we can also, for example, do the project analysis. So here, in advanced control, we can calculate the earned value analysis. So here, as Francesco told you before, we can set where we are, where we want to go, how, and when. The budget is our goal, and we can tell to ourselves and to our customers if we are reaching our goal. So that's more or less what we can do with STR Vision CPM. Now, thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, we can answer you.
Okay, we see that there are some questions, and most of them are really specific. So we would like to make a single demo, a one-to-one demo presentation. So if you have some doubt, we can go through the matter with you and to understand your question precisely, because they are really specific. So in order to go through the matter and to correctly understand how to provide an answer, and also to understand if we understand good the question, I think that the best thing to do is to organize a one-to-one demo. So we will get in touch with you, with all the people that ask us for some things. Thank you for your time. I hope that you appreciate this presentation. We will have more. So on the web page, you register for this one, you see other appointment. This one presentation, we go through the BIM features mostly, but then we will have others that we go through the cost control. Thank you very much for attention again, and have a good day. Thank you. Bye.